What is good, everybody? It is your boy Champagne Chico, and we are back with an old school rebuild. I think I'm gonna put these on Thursdays, kind of like a throwback Thursday. We just go to old games, see how you guys like them and how the games are really. But this week we are doing Madden 17 rebuild. I know that there's another comment saying Madden 13. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna be able to play that. I'm going to try my best, but for right now, we're going to be doing Madden 17, and we're going to be rebuilding the Cleveland Browns, who in this season were 1-15. They had 3 different quarterbacks, Josh McCown, Cody Kessler, and Robert Griffin III, RG3, and they all basically contributed. RG3 was actually the only one that won a game. They had 5 QBs that were actually registered QBs, and then they used Terrell Pryor at wide receiver, but he's a QB. But before we get into the video, I'm gonna have to ask you to go down there and like and subscribe for me. I love making these rebuilds. I hope y'all love watching them, and if you do, hit that like button so more people can see it, more people can tell me what type of rebuilds to do, and we get more rebuilds on the channel. But the Cleveland Browns, a 73 overall, 77 overall offense and a 75 overall defense. Joe Thomas was really the only bright spot on that offense at the time. 1-15 is absolutely insane. But we're going to be adding to the lore of Champagne Chico as a coach. Wow. Round of applause. Round of applause for Madden to actually put multiple skin tones in the game this time. I guess this is the first time that they actually put multiple skin tones. I kind of miss how this team layout looks. Honestly, I don't know. It just looks more crisp to me. I don't know if it's just a nostalgia for me, but RG3 is the starting quarterback. As I said, Josh McCown and Kessler were all QBs on the team. RG3 was coming off that injury. They thought they found something with it, but not quite. You have Josh Gordon. You have Coleman on the team. Whoa. I'm not putting a goal. Oh, you're going to make me put a goal? My expectations are very, very low. Very, very low. 7 wins this season, probably. Coleman. Corey Coleman, Josh Gordon, Hawkins, Andrew Hawkins to be specific. You have Crowell, Duke Johnson, Raheem Mostert at a 66 overall. Okay, their line was pretty decent. Joe Thomas was, of course, one of the best left tackles in the league and of all time. Gary Barnage, tight end Gary Barnage on the team. The defense, not bad either. I mean, they had a good lineup. There was just specific spots that would really not excel at all, and it wouldn't help the rest of the team. I mean, their cornerbacks are solid. You have Joe Hayden, who I think, didn't he get suspended at one point for them? Williams, another Williams. Who's this one? Quan Williams. The defensive line isn't the greatest. You have Desmond Bryant at left end. Wow. Desmond Bryant at left end. Demario Davis, 4 years in to being in the league, a 77 overall, 4 years in. Paul Kruger, 86 overall. Marcavius Mingo. Agba, this was when he was on the Browns. That's right. That is right. He is now on the Dolphins with my team, but he can't stay healthy at all for us. Duke Johnson is the 3-down running back. Raheem Mostert is the kickoff specialist and punt specialist. So overall, this team looks solid for this season. I don't think we're going to make any changes as of right now. Hopefully we do have our pick. I think we should have our pick. I wouldn't see why we wouldn't. 47.6 mil in cap space at the moment with the players that we have. 99 overall. Joe Thomas is going to be insane. We have 2 picks, actually. Not sure whose pick that is. Let me take a look. So at this time, I'm not really sure who specifically the trade was with that they had that first round pick. But as far as I know, I think this was the year that they got Myles Garrett and David Njoku. Not even David Njoku was the next one. It was Jabril Peppers. That was this pick right here, the 19th pick. but it ended up being the 25th at the end of the season. We'll see how good that pick is. Hopefully it is pretty good. We need a QB. We need a QB, and I think they went with Myles Garrett because they thought RG3 was going to come back from his injury and be able to play well, but never really got back to his original form. But we will simulate to the midseason mark, see how this team's doing, see if we can even make the playoffs, and if not, hopefully get a high draft pick to get a QB in this draft. Wow, and at the midseason mark, we are on pace to match the record that we had before. We are 0-8, and there's some players ready to negotiate right now. We'll look at that first. Mingo, 25 years old, a 79 overall. I think our focus is to really keep the young players that we have. 25 is not a bad age. Isaiah, I'm not sure. I don't know if he's 2 years in. I don't know if he's supposed to be any good, really. I don't know where he was drafted specifically off the top of my head. 66 ranked halfback in the league. He's down to a 73 because of confidence. Wow. I did not realize how many great players they had on this team, and they're only not great because they're on the Browns. Wow, I think I'm going to try to get Barkevious Mingo right now. I think this is what he wants at the moment. Let me make sure. 21.2. 21.2. Don't see why he doesn't take this right now. Happy to sign and continue to play. That's good. Raheem Moore Sr. Free safety. Free safety is not easy to come by. Free safety is not easy to come by. But how much cap space do we have? Because that's the real question. Cap room 57.3 after trying to sign him. Okay, so we can... I think I'm going to get these two and then worry about the rest later on. Quan Williams is somebody that I probably want to keep, but I'm going to wait a little bit, see what happens throughout the season, and see how the team does. But Raheem Moore Sr., we're just going to keep him just to be able to keep a free safety. I like the length of the contract, but that's about it. I'm glad Madden has never changed their responses to the contracts. It's still the same. Josh Gordon, 12.7 million. I like the length of the contract, but that's about it. Nice. Okay, so I guess we're going to try to get Quan Williams now just to try to get one more person to sign with the team. This offer's perfect. Can't wait till next year. So we keep one of our cornerbacks. I think the rest are signed for the foreseeable future right now. Right tackle, both backups. Kicker. Other than that, that's really about it. That is really about it. Isaiah Crow. I can't say the name right. Isaiah Crowell. Crowell? Hopefully it's one or the other. So his contract will only be 2.6 mil a year. It would knock us down to 46.9. Now we could definitely put that money elsewhere. I would rather draft a running back or even just sign one for a short amount of time. I'm not sure if he was supposed to be like this big running back. I don't think he's going to be, so I don't know why I would give him money to do so. I would usually look at college players right now, but at the mid-season mark, Madden isn't really good at picking the actual good prospects. I mean, I can look at them without putting the scout points into it, but I'm not going to waste scout points on them. The number one prospect is a QB, and they're going to make me look at them anyway, so I will go through it. A+ throw power, B+ throw accuracy mid, and B+ throw accuracy short, and he is a balance type. Marcus Trotter. Okay, left tackle is the one after that. I'm assuming that we're going to have a top pick. Darren Bedell. I just can't pronounce names today. Darren Bedell, halfback out of Texas A&M, a power back, B+ stiff arm, B+ ball carrier vision, B+ trucking. So he's another top pick, which I would love to get him specifically because I'm not sure about Isaiah. I'm not. We'll look at the stats to try to debate on if he's even worth re-signing right now. But we are 26th in offensive yards. Not the greatest. And 23rd in defensive. So our defense hasn't really done much. Wow. Okay, 1,700 yards, 5 TDs, and 10 interceptions at the midseason mark. Isaiah has 455 yards and 3 TDs. Robert Griffin has more rushing yards than Duke Johnson at the midseason mark. Andrew Hawkins has the most receiving yards with 431. No TDs. Josh Gordon has 326. Coleman has 302 TDs. And our tight end has 336 and 1 TD. On the defensive side, Demario Davis is the leading tackler. And Desmond Bryant is the leader in TFLs with 8. Shelton also with 8. Hughes with 6 sacks. Demario Davis has 4 sacks. Shelton has 3. And Hughes has 3. Interceptions, Hayden has 2. Demario Davis has 1. And Williams has 1. Solid for a team that's 0-8. I was surprised to even see any stats that were somewhat good. It seems like the majority of it is because Robert Griffin III has thrown 10 picks already in 8 games. So, not the best thing in the world. Not the best thing in the world. The morale is down across the entire team. Not a good look for the team at all, but we're going to see how we finish off the season and see how high of a draft pick we get. And at the end of the season, it doesn't seem like we made the playoffs. I wouldn't imagine. 2-14. Very nice. Very nice. And we were 28th in offensive yards, and we were 31st in defensive. So for some reason, we did better on the offensive side of things than the defensive. Robert Griffin III had 3,500 touchdowns, 15 TDs, and 14 interceptions. He slowed down on the interceptions, so that's also good. 944 yards for Isaiah and 9 TDs. I mean, it's difficult not to have a lot of yards whenever you're just being fed the ball with almost 300 attempts at the ball. His yards per carry was 3.2, which isn't bad, but if Robert Griffin III has more yards per carry than you, then that's a concern. 265 yards for Robert Griffin III, and receiving, our tight end was not the leading one. It was Andrew Hawkins, 841 yards and 3 TDs. Coleman had 766 and 4 TDs. And Barnage had 695 and 3 TDs. Josh Gordon's also there with around 500 yards. Not worried about the blocking. The defensive side, Demario Davis had 171 tackles, leading the team. Shelton is leading the team in TFLs with 13. Bryant with 8. He didn't get any more after the midseason mark. And Hughes with 7. And sacks, Hughes had 6. Mingo had 6. Kruger had 5.5. And Demario Davis had 5.5. Interceptions, Demario Davis was doing everything. He had 2 interceptions. Williams had 2 interceptions. And Hayden had 2 interceptions. Joe Hayden, to be specific. The team might be affected by the morale. They definitely are. They most definitely are. Joe Thomas does not care. He is still a 99 overall, and he's going to stay that way. We are not planning to replace him anytime soon. We want to keep him for as long as he plays in the NFL. Demario Davis is developing. He's a 79 now instead of a 77. Joe Hayden is still an 85. So we have to go to the offseason, hopefully able to sign for some free agents that make a difference to the team and drafting a generational quarterback. All right, we're going to try one more time before free agency to sign Josh Gordon and Raheem Moore. Isaiah has not developed at all, so I'm not really planning to re-sign him unless we really need to. I'm sure that he's just going to be sitting in free agency. But Raheem Moore is up to an 80 overall. He wants 11 mil, and it's having us try to give him 9.93. So I'm going to bump it up to 2.8 with a 900,000 signing bonus. Exactly 11 mil for 3 years. I imagine that he's gonna. All right, this offer is perfect. 80 overall, free safety. We want to keep him because we don't want to have to worry about that position. Josh Gordon, supposed to be a big player in the league before he had the whole marijuana thing and drug thing. 12.7. That's exactly the fair offer that he's supposed to be getting. I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to test out free agency. That's fine. I wasn't really too worried about re-signing you. You haven't developed in your 5 years into your career, so I am just fine not having Josh Gordon on the team. So now we move on to free agency, and now we have to see what spots we can fill in. Hopefully a halfback. Not a lot of big overalls this season. We might save the money. We just might save the money because most of these options are not worth the money that they want. I'm not too concerned. I'm not too concerned about it. I think I'm probably going to try to get Josh Gordon, if anything. Not even. We could honestly get a better wide receiver, but Wide receiver doesn't even look that good. Everybody's 85 and below, I think. Malcolm Butler, or wait, it is Malcolm Butler, is the highest overall in the free agency class. That's not the best look in the world. DeMarcus Ware at 35 years old. This was when he moved to Denver and ended up going to the Super Bowl. 84 overall, Michael Bennett from the Seahawks for Martellus Bennett. Whoa. Oh, the tight end. I mixed the brothers up. Martellus Bennett, the tight end from Green Bay. Possibly on the move, but I don't see any reason to sign any of these people. I mean, unless we're missing specific spots on the team, I don't think we are. Maybe right tackle, center, right tackle, center. QB, I think we're going to worry about in the draft. I might try to get Josh Gordon again because we're a little scarce on the wide receiver department right now. The defense, though, decent overall. You know, I might try to improve the defensive line, if anything. Carl Nassib was in the league back then? Interesting. I'll go ahead and see what I can do with the lineup that we have and see if I can improve it at all in free agency. As much as I should be getting a lot more positions, I think this is just what I'm going to go after right now. Willie Snead, 24 years old, could develop. He's an 80 overall. Josh Gordon, trying to get him back. He's 26. We're the only offer that he has. And Sebastian Vollmer. Wow. And Sebastian Vollmer, who's 32. 1-year deal because I don't want to pay him longer than that. He's only getting older. I don't see, I mean, strong safety, maybe. It's just, I don't want to invest too much into this free agency class. It's not a good one, to say the least. I mean, defensive tackle, I haven't seen anything for it. It's basically the same overalls as them. Right tackle is literally only because we desperately need it. And wide receiver because we have 69 and 64 overalls at those positions. So I could try to find defensive tackles. I just really don't want to spend so much money in this draft class. Yeah, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I'm going to sign these guys, try to get them at the contracts that they have right now. Hopefully they do end up accepting. I'm really not too worried about next season. I think next season's going to be a lot of developing for the rookies that we're about to get. We also have to look at that right now since we're going to be able to. Contract is accepted by Willie Snead and Josh Gordon. If the right tackle doesn't accept, then I can sleep well at night because it's not going to matter much to me. But the college players, Marcus Trotter is still the best. He skipped the combine. He said, screw you, Roger Goodell. A strong arm is his type. He's no longer balanced. He's a strong arm. Okay, how tall is he? 6'5", 21 years old. Deron Bedell, not the fastest. 30th. Well, he is a power back. So, 7th in bench press. Not fantastic. Not a great thing. Keelan Griffith, early first-round pick. He was 3rd in the vert jump. Lynn Buck could be an option because left end is a position of need. I have to see where my picks are at in order to actually gauge where I'm going to be able to get these players. We have the 1st pick, the 9th pick. Okay, so we have pretty high picks. Defensive tackle could be a position. Deron Weddle, they have him going pretty high. 5th in the 40. Not bad. Not bad. Jamison Rayner, another early first-round pick. So this Madden is a lot better in terms of not having crappy ones at the top and wasting the points. Marquez Levy, a left outside linebacker. We don't necessarily need outside linebackers right now. Wide receiver, another one that could possibly be good, but he's a mid first round. I would love to get Keelan Griffith if he drops. If not, I can live without it. Deron Bedell is somebody that I would want to get. What about the other halfbacks? Maybe we can find one in the 2nd round. And it's not too much of a concern for us to get Deron specifically. Undrafted. Wow, they have him projected to go in the 2nd round, and his talent is undrafted potential. Early 2nd round pick, first in the 40 and first in vert. He's a speed back. Oscar Rumpf, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Might be the one that we get because he's an early second, and we literally have the first pick in the second round. I think Stephen Coles is going to be the last one that I look at, and he's a late second round. So I think Oscar Rumpf is the man that we're probably going to take a chance on because I don't want to trade up for Deron Bedell. I think going defense with the 9th pick is the way to go for us, whether it's this right end right here or it's the defensive tackle or the left end. Any one of those positions would help us. Hopefully one of them are there. We can look at Virgil just to make sure. He's a mid first round pick. Tight end could be a thing, could be in play. I mean, Jimmy Casillas, not fantastic in terms of where we're at in the draft. So we have a first and 9th in the first round. We have a first and an 18th in the second. And then we have a first and a 3rd, and then first and the 5th and 6th. So, yeah, we can look at those rounds specifically, try to find something that matches those picks, and hopefully find the exact positions that we need in order to help this team develop next season. Okay, so I have a plan in terms of what I want to do with the draft picks. I ran out of scouting points or enough to actually look at them. Chris Mangold, we need a center. He's supposed to go in the early 2nd round, but he is an early 1st round talent. So I am going to try to trade my 18th 2nd round pick and the 5th and 6th to move up to the 2nd pick of the 2nd round, because we have the first one and we have the 2nd one. I just want to get my players back to back to make sure that there's no chance of me not getting them. And then my watch list, basically, I'll just show you all the watch list. Marcus Trotter is going to be going at the 1st overall pick, even though he skipped the combine. I have a feeling that he's going to be pretty good. We need a QB regardless, so we have to take a chance on him. Lynn Buck is a possible 9th pick. Lynn Buck, Deron Weddle, and Jamison Rayner are all, if they fall to the position that we're at the 9th pick, then I'll take them. But if it ends up being all 3s falling, then it's going to take me some time to think about it. But Oscar Rumpf is a plan for the 2nd round, and then Chris Mangold. The round 3 I was trying to look for, but I already spent all the scouting points, so I have to just play it by ear. I'm really probably going to look for a cornerback there. There's this cornerback that's a 7.6 rate in the 3rd round. Yeah. Jadashun Way. Jadashun Way is supposed to go late 3rd round, even though we're early. Maybe free safety could be a chance too. 7.3. Mycoli Kirkland. That's a hell of a name. 3rd in the 40. Supposed to go in the early 3rd. He's a prototype. But I'm going to try to trade for that 2nd pick in the 2nd round to make sure that we get a center, because Irving is not going to do it this year. I'm expecting the right tackle that we try to sign, Sebastian Vollmer, to come to the team, and we'll just save all the money that we have for next year. I'm not too concerned about this draft class or this free agency class. Well, sadly, RG3 has to leave the team. We're planning to draft a QB anyways. RG3, a 2nd round pick, our late 2nd round pick, and a 5th round pick for an early 2nd to secure a center on the team. So with that, I think we can go into the draft and get all the players that we need. I'm not too concerned about this free agency class, like I already said. And hopefully next year is a lot better. I'm not trying to spend money on players that's not going to matter. Yep, and Sebastian Vollmer gets his contract accepted. We're going to look some more at these later positions, and if anything, I will see you in the draft. And with the first pick in the draft, the Browns are on the clock, and we are going to be picking Marcus Trotter, even though he skipped the combine. Texas A&M, 6'5", 231 pounds, 21 years old with A+ throw power, B+ throw accuracy mid, and B+ throw accuracy short. I'm expecting him to be pretty good, and he was ranked #1 regardless. It's always a hit or miss with those. Superstar development. Wow, I think at that time that was the best that there was. So Marcus Trotter is going to be the QB of the future for the Browns. I pulled off what the Browns could never pull off in the last 10 years, actually, because they still couldn't do it. Defensive tackle gets taken. Another defensive tackle gets taken. The left end gets taken. Middle linebacker, and right outside. So it seems like the only position that's left of the players that we had on the watch list Oh, wait. Deron Bedell's here. Do we focus on the defense, though? Yeah, we need it desperately. We're going to get Jamison Rayner, and hopefully he's good enough. Ooh, ranked 18th, normal development, and we got him at 9. Not the best, but we needed a right end. We had to take him. Oh, it was him. The center got took. Oh, I thought that was going to be enough. Bedell did not get taken until the late first round. Yeah, there's Mangold going to the Chargers. That's so unfortunate. It was about, like, 6 picks before us. We might trade away that pick, to be honest with you. I don't know if there's much of a chance of us getting anything. Maybe... Wait. Jacoby Savage, supposed to go mid-first. He did not do good. He did not do good at the combine. He's balanced, but he's strong as can be. I think I'm going to go with Oscar Rump for right now to make sure I get a halfback. Hopefully he's good. Not a great pick. I mean, we can take another halfback. We don't need a tight end right now. Our tight end is pretty solid at the moment. Jacoby Savage is here. He's balanced with A- carrying, B+ stiff arm, B juke move. I don't know if we want to go back-to-back and risk it. I'm not too convinced on that. You know, I'll take a chance on another halfback. For right now. Jacoby Savage. His combine wasn't great. Strong halfback. Oh, ranked 22nd, and we got him at 34. So we have our running back for this year, even though he is normal development. 77 overall. The other one didn't entice me enough to keep him on the team, so Oscar Rumpf is not going to be doing too much for us. I might take a chance on the strong safety. Even though he's projected to go late 3rd round, his combine is a lot better than Mash Ritzman. I'm not sure. I mean, they almost had the same grade. Maybe I just go with the higher one here. We need a strong safety anyways. Ranked 41, and we got him at 65, so it's not bad. It's the 3rd round, so I took a chance on somebody, and that's the best that I could do in that position. All right, and at the start of the regular season, Trotter is an 84 overall. Johnson is the starting running back ahead of Savage. I might switch this just to give Savage a chance to develop in some way. Coleman, Gordon, Willie Snead, all solid wide receivers for the time being. Joe Thomas is still a 99 overall. Overall, the line is decent. The left side is definitely top heavy. Barnage is down to an 82. Is he getting older? He's 31. Okay. Should have probably gotten the tight end in the draft, but can't always win them. Defense looks solid after getting Rayner. He's a 78 overall at right end. Bryant is at left end, and our defensive tackles look pretty good. Cornerbacks still look solid. I'm glad that I re-signed what I re-signed, because then me not drafting a quarterback in the 3rd round would have definitely screwed us. Free safety looks good. Strong safety could use some work. Linebackers look solid. They can all develop. Demario Davis, 5 years into his career. I mean, this is when he really started to pop off, so hopefully he picks it up. Kruger down to an 84. He's also regressing, it seems. No. Well, yep. He's regressing. Super Bowl week, he definitely regressed. But now, and the kicker's a 72, so that's pretty good. But now we have to simulate to the midseason mark, see how this team does. See if we get a high draft pick or we make the playoffs. At the midseason mark, we are the top of the AFC North with going 4-3-1 right now. Trotter is still an 84 overall. Duke Johnson's actually a higher overall than Savage. Maybe we switch them out, but it seems like us having who we have right now is working out. Nobody has really developed much. Campbell has developed, so that's good for him and us at the strong safety position. We'll look at who we have to re-sign very soon, but we have to look at the stats first. 5th in offensive yard. Trotter came in and is making a difference right now. 24th in defensive, so our offense is definitely doing a lot for us. 2,200 yards, 13 TDs, and 8 interceptions. Rushing, Savage has 497 and 7 TDs. Duke Johnson has 235 and 4 TDs. And Trotter was 63 and 1 TD. Receiving, Barnidge has 540 with 2 TDs. Willie Snead has 342 and 1. Josh Gordon has 575 and 3 TDs. Defensive side, though, Demario Davis once again leading in tackles. Rayner has 6 TFLs as a rookie. Shelton has 3 and Bryant has 3. And sacks, Rayner is also leading in that with 6 sacks. Mingo has 6 and Kruger has 3. Interceptions, Williams has 3. So Quan Williams has 3. Tremont Williams has 2. And Gilbert has 1. And some other players also have 1. But we're the top of the AFC North right now with 4-3-1. We tied with somebody. Not sure who that was, but we're at the top of the division. So now we have to look at who is ready to negotiate. Paul Kruger is getting lower in overall. Not 100% sure on if I want to re-sign him. Joel, I definitely do. Demario Davis is somebody that I want to keep as well. I'm not sure how much salary cap we're supposed to have. 71.6 after signing Joel. So I'm going to give him a little more just to entice him a bit. Just so we can keep him. Left guard have paid to sign with the organization. Demario Davis, 28 years old. I'm hoping that he keeps going right now. He's quick development. So hopefully he keeps that up. It looks like Paul Kruger is still only normal. Slow development by the cornerback Justin Gilbert. Not too convinced on everybody else, but Demario Davis is somebody that I want to keep for the long term. And put this up to 1.10, 4 mil per year, 67.8 left. But we're going to keep Demario Davis as a middle linebacker. We are not worried about Sebastian Vollmer at all. 32 years old. We'll worry about the right tackle position in free agency once again. Right outside, I think we don't have anybody behind them, but I'm not too convinced on keeping him right now. We'll be down to what, 62.4? I mean, it wouldn't be bad just to make sure that we keep a right outside linebacker. 3 years, though. If he accepts this, then I'm cool with it. Like the contract length, but the rest of the offer needs work. That's fine. We'll see how you do for the rest of the season, because if you start regressing, might just not come back at all. But I think we're going to simulate to the end of the season. There is college players to scout. Another QB, but that's not a concern of ours anymore. We're not even going to be at the top. We're projected to be 20th in the draft. So I think we'll worry about that closer to the offseason. If we make the playoffs, then it's not going to be a concern up until the free agency period. And at the end of the season, we go 8-7-1. So we fell off after the midseason mark. 15th in offensive yards. Not the best that we could do. 24th in defensive. Definitely fell off after the midseason mark. But Trotter, 4,400 yards, 29 TDs, and 11 interceptions. Savage had 1,065 and 13 TDs. Duke Johnson with 6 TDs, seeming to be the goal line back. Receiving, Josh Gordon had 1,000 yards on the season with 7 TDs. Barnidge had 980 with 4 TDs. Coleman had 962 with 8 TDs. And the defensive side, Davis didn't quite have the tackles that he had last season, but Rayner still leading with 10 TFLs and 15.5 sacks. Shelton had 7 TFLs. Kruger had 3. Mingo had 9 sacks, and Kruger had 8.5 interceptions. Tremont Williams had 4. Quan Williams had 4. Kirksey had 2, and Moore Sr. had 2. Davis only had 1 this season. Not as good as last season, but now we have to take a look at the overall. Trotter is up to an 87 and Savage is up to a 79. So him getting the ball is definitely helping his development. Center is probably going to be a main focus in this draft. Defensive side of things, still the same. Defensive tackle might be the way to go this offseason. We just have to see what is in the free agency class. I mean, the only thing that is secure right now is the QB. That's for sure. Everybody else, except for Joe Thomas, is not safe right now in terms of losing their starting spot. Sorry. Yeah, we're just gonna have to see in the offseason, see what we're able to pull off with this Browns team. Kruger is down to an 81. I don't know if we're keeping Kruger. I don't know if we're keeping Kruger much longer. Volmer, Bryant, everybody is regressing on the team. Kirksey seems like the only possible option, just in case we want to run a 2 middle linebacker scheme or a 3-4 to be specific. Kirksey, it'll bring us down to 51.1. If he takes this, then I'm okay with it. Excited to sign such a great offer. So we keep our second middle linebacker just in case Demario Davis ends up leaving at any point. But Kruger's not going to be coming back. We have to fill in a lot of spots this offseason. So in free agency, we're only going after 3 players. It's another one that's not very eventful in terms of overall wise, and in terms of just value. Richburg, I think his name is Weston Richburg. 87 overall, we're his top bid right now. McDonald, it's really just to fill in our defensive tackle position, and Vinny Curry at the left end position. All to fill in spots that we need very desperately right now. Right tackle, I wanted to get a right tackle to fill in that spot. But honestly, I need to look at the draft first and see if I can get anything with that. Center is definitely a position that we want to go after in free agency, and we're already doing that because Irving is a 73 overall. That's not really going to help us much. Wide receivers are solid at the time. You can see why I'm trying to go for a left end and defensive tackle, just to help the defensive line, just in case I'm not able to get anything. We moved Ogba to left out or right outside linebacker, I think it was. They had it as a report, but they end up putting Mingo at right outside and Ogba at left outside. They'll probably interchange just because Ogba hasn't really had the chance to start. We're going to give him his chance. We're not going to sign anybody to replace him or go above him in the starting role. So I think we're doing pretty good in terms of this free agency. We just have to see if they accept the contract offers. Hopefully the center immediately does it, just so we don't have to worry about the offensive line. The defensive line I can probably handle in the draft, but all of them accepted. I like this Madden a lot more than last year's Madden in terms of Madden 16, because they were not accepting until the very last day if they were like the top of the top. But Brandon Reyes could be somebody that we move to the right tackle position, but I think we have the 17th pick in the draft. Mason Lorenzo, or Lorenzen, is a run blocker, and he's a right tackle. Mid-second round talent. Okay, so my plan with this draft right now, of course I put Brandon Reyes as a watch list type of guy. He's the first overall prospect, so I'm not expecting him to drop to me. But I have the 17th overall pick in the first round. I need to trade up just a little bit, just 4 picks or so, just to be able to get Derek Cobbs on the team. If Mason Lorenzen is in the second round, then I'll take him maybe. It just depends. He's like a mid-second round talent, so if he's in the mid-second round and the other prospects aren't there, then I just might take him. George Dumerville is only in the circumstance that he drops to the early second. He's a late first talent. There's a chance. There's always a chance for that. DeMichael Cole is a late second round talent, and that is really what we were looking for in that second round range. Either that or Fernando Gritton. Trying to improve the safeties. Right tackle, as I already said, Derek Cobbs is going to be the solution for that, and the defense just needs overall help, but strong safety is definitely the worst position on the defensive side. So I'm going to get an earlier pick now, make sure that I'm able to get that right tackle Derek Cobbs. There is trade offers for Duke Johnson. Maybe we get some picks out of it. That would help. I am packing up the 17th overall pick, Carl Nassib, and a 5th round pick for the 12th pick in this draft to move up a couple spots just to make sure that we get our right tackle of the future. Hopefully he ends up being as good as the rest of the line. Bailey is the only position that's questionable, but he's going to have to do for right now. There's really not a lot of good prospects in this draft. Defense, still solid. It's going to be good for this year. I mean, cornerback is probably the only thing that we have to sign because the draft is not going to do it. All right, the Bears are on the clock. We're just going to simulate to our pick. No way he got picked before us. And Lorenzen got picked. How does... I guess we go with strong safety. I mean, at this point, I can just trade back. There's no like value here. I could try to get a late first and still get Dumerville, but get a right tackle too, maybe. All right, well, we are trading the 12th pick to move back in the draft to the 24th pick. We're getting a right tackle back. We're packing up one of our young players at strong safety who didn't really entice us too much, being a 73 overall, and he hasn't really got much of a chance. But I'm confident in Dumerville being pretty good, and a 6th-round pick, all to go back to the 24th pick. While we're getting a right tackle, we're securing that position for us, and hopefully Dumerville ends up being there at our pick. I'm a little scared to go up right now. Strong safety, strong safety. He still hasn't been taken, so I'm going to be taking Dumerville at this position. George Dumerville, to be specific. He was 3rd in the 40. He's a late 1st-round talent. Run support. I'm confident in him. Ranked 10th in the draft, and we drafted him at 24, so that's a pretty good draft pick for us. Now we have to worry about the next pick. I don't know what else we're going to get. All right, not much draft picks for us to use that's going to be worth something to our team, and we need a cornerback. So we are trading 2 seconds and a 3rd-round pick for Logan Ryan of the Browns. I had a chance to get Jalen Ramsey. I don't think that this trade package would have done it for Jalen. Also, not too realistic. I mean, Logan Ryan has quick development. Jalen Ramsey has superstar. I think Logan Ryan's just going to be just fine as our cornerback, and I think we're pretty set for right now. I mean, I could probably trade the rest of the picks for a 2nd or 3rd-round pick next year, but I think that's going to be it for right now. All right, we are trading the rest of our picks for the draft for a 3rd-round pick from the Bears next year. Just trying to get some value out of it. We're not going to use the rest of the picks this year. And at the start of Season 3 now, Trotter is up to a 91 overall. Duke Johnson, for some reason, is above Savage. We do have to trade him possibly right now just to get some value out of him. I think his contract is about to be up, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's still on his rookie contract. Yep, this is his last season, $840K. We could trade him for a 1st-round pick, maybe, just so we can get some good value out of it. Wagner is at right tackle. We weren't able to get the rookie. Weren't quite fast enough, I guess. Defense. Logan Ryan looks good next to Joe Hayden. You have Quan Williams at CB3. Looks pretty good. Dumerville is a 78 overall, so that was a really good pickup in the draft. I'm going to see what I can get for Duke Johnson just so Savage can get the full reps and hopefully be able to get a 1st-round pick out of it. Instead of trading for a 1st-round pick, I'm going to be getting one of the defensive tackles I was looking to get in the 1st draft by trading Duke Johnson to the Dolphins. He did go to the Dolphins at one point, and a 3rd-round pick, a late 3rd-round pick. This is not ours, I don't think, for a defensive tackle, a bright young defensive tackle. Seems like he's going to develop quickly. And we have our defensive tackles of the future, really. I mean, Weddle's going to take over at DT1. Shelton goes to DT3. McDonald's only going to be here for this year. I think, no, he's here for 2 years. Rayner is up to an 83 overall. Demario Davis has gotten his spot taken by Kirksey. That's interesting. But we're going to have to see how the team does at the midseason mark. Hopefully good enough to make the playoffs this year. I think we're well on our way with the offense that we have and a defense. And if anything, this offseason is going to have to be about the wide receivers. And at the mid-season mark, we are 3-5. Why are we so not where we're supposed to be? 7th in offensive yards. It seems like Trotter's doing the best that he can with the team that he has. 32nd in defensive yards. Our defense is doing this to us. 2,300 yards, 17 TDs, and 4 interceptions. Savage has 466 and 2 TDs. Receiving, Coleman has the most with 632 and 3 TDs. Josh Gordon with 536 and 4 TDs. Defense, Kirksey has the most tackles. TFLs, Weddle has 7. Rayner has 3, and Ogba has 2. Ogba has 6 sacks. Rayner has 5 sacks, and Weddle has 2.5. And we only have 2 picks on the season, and it's by Joe Hayden and Logan Ryan. We're 3-5. That doesn't make much sense. Trotter is a 91 overall still. Savage is a 79 still. Coleman's up to an 83. We need to get a better tight end. We definitely need to get a better tight end. Defense is still basically the same. It's not a bad defense. I don't know what there is to fix. Maybe it's the scheme. I'll have to see if I'm able to change that at all, actually. But we'll take a look at who we have to re-sign. Joe Thomas. Gotta keep him. Gotta keep Joe Thomas. This is a generational left tackle. You don't get much better than Joe. And we're going to up it to 11 mil. Give him a 5 mil signing bonus. There's no way that we let him walk at all. Giving him a $48.1 million contract for the next 3 years. It's a good offer. I'm glad we got the deal done. So we keep our left tackle of the future and of now. Everybody else, not too sure about. Danny Shelton is somebody that I want to keep. That is definitely somebody that I want to keep. I'm going to give him the offer that he wants. It's a good offer. We're not going to overpay him. Campbell can go. We already got our strong safety. Glad that we drafted him because I did not want to pay Campbell. Alvin Bailey at right guard. Slow development. I don't think there's much of anybody else right now. Yeah, that's about it for right now. I mean, in the offseason, maybe we have a different outlook on what we need to keep. But other than that, I think that's about it. We're 3-5 right now. 3-5. We can come back into the season. Maybe it's just we started off bad and we pick it back up. But I'm going to try to change the scheme a bit. Try to make it better for the team and see if that helps out. Change up the scheme to have both middle linebackers playing. I think we're better off with 2 middle linebackers than 2 defensive tackles. Got to focus more on defending the pass instead of worrying about rushing the passer. So on the offensive side, it's a zone run right now. Actually, no, it's balanced offense. So hopefully that helps out. It should. It should, to be honest with you. Hopefully it does. They don't have the whole scheme fit situation in this one, so I'm just basing it off of the players. And yeah, hopefully we have a better record at the end of the season. And at the end of the season, we went 8-8. We picked it up after the midseason mark, but not enough to get a wild card spot. 11th in offensive yards. Seems like they kept pace with that. And defense, 31st. Not good. 4,400 yards, 31 TDs, and 8 interceptions for Trotter. Savage has 1,072 and 7 touchdowns. Rump has 10 touchdowns. For some reason, he's getting a workload right now. Coleman had almost 1,200 yards, 8 TDs. Snead had 4 TDs and 800 yards. Josh Gordon had 1,006 TDs. And Barnage had 783 and 7 TDs. On the defensive side, Kirksey had the most tackles. Weddle had 10 TFLs. Rayner had 6 and Ogba had 4. Rayner had 19 sacks. Ogba had 12.5. Curry had 6. And interceptions, Logan Ryan had 2, Demario Davis had 1, Kirksey had 1, and Joe Hayden had 1. So it seems like the new defensive scheme did help just a bit. Have to figure out what to do with the offensive side. Trotter is still a 91. Everything is still the same overall except for Coleman going to an 85. Defensive side, Rayner's up to an 85. Ogba's up to an 81. Doomerville's up to an 81. So we're a young team. 8-8 is not bad for right now. I'm glad that we picked it back up afterwards. I want to see what awards we got because I feel like we haven't seen that, and we possibly could have gotten a good one with our young players. Yearly awards. Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. Coach of the Year was Pete Corral. We're in the AFC. Trotter was 6th in Offensive Player of the Year votings. I wonder where he was in MVP. Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody on our team. Look at Perriman. Nobody on our team. Joey Bosa. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think we had anybody, but Defensive Rookie. Doomerville was 3rd. Almost had it. Best QB. Trotter was 4th. I want to see how close Trotter was. He was not even in the top 10 in MVP. Brock Osweiler. It has been a while since I've heard that name, and he was above Marcus Trotter. That's crazy. Now, once again, we have to worry about the offseason. We're trying to look for a new tight end. Barnage is not doing it anymore. He's 33, 11 years into his career. He's only going down in overall. His quick development doesn't matter much anymore, so have to see what we're able to do. All right, we re-signed Alvin Bailey to the team. Wasn't really thinking that he was going to accept it, but he ended up accepting it. So we only have about 30 mil to go into free agency with. I wanted to keep Bailey just because right guard isn't an easy position to come by. 31.67 mil left in our cap space. I don't think that there's going to be another right guard, but there's some tight ends, but they're pretty old. They are pretty old. We're going to have to see who we end up picking up right now. All right, we are trading our right guard for a second-round pick. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm planning to get another one because Bailey is slow development, so he's not going to develop much. I know that the team looks very empty right now, but I'm planning something big for this free agency. All right, we are going to be fresh out of salary if we get everybody that we're planning to get right now, but Leonard Williams, Byron Jones at free safety, Ronald Darby, Eric Kendricks, Brandon Sheriff, Steven Gostowski, legendary kicker, and Aaron Ripkowski. All positions that we need, all positions that will make a big difference if we're able to get them right now. Because it seems like Logan Ryan's regressing for some reason. Don't know why. But the two big ones right here, all of these are pretty big, but I'm really hoping to get these two specifically. Free safety, Moore is regressing right now. And I think he only has like one more year left on his contract, meaning this one. So hopefully they all accept. We're all in the lead for those. So, all right, Eric Kendricks accepts. Ronald Williams, Leonard Williams, Ripkowski. Everybody accepts their contracts except for the kicker, which is surprising. He didn't necessarily decline it. He's still the only one, so I guess we're just gonna wait on him. I want to get him because it's Gostowski. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. You don't get much better than him. We could go for a longer term deal in terms of Lambo. Probably would be the smarter route. I'm gonna take this. I'll go with Lambo for right now. Around the same, I think. Oh, actually, he has better kick power than him now. Okay, take my money. Take my money, Lambo. A lot of big players, but we have the 17th overall pick. I was more looking to draft a tight end in the first round. Bruce Hogg is supposed to be going in the mid-first round, but, you know, mid-first round for these people doesn't necessarily mean that. If anything, Thomas Johnson is there. I'll wait for both. I'm not going to trade up. I'll keep my picks where they are right now. I'm not going to risk anything. Wide receiver was another position that I was looking at. Elgin Posey is an early first-round pick, so we wouldn't necessarily have a chance to get him. Mid-first for Laquan Noel. Trotter still a 91. He needs to develop. He's a superstar, supposedly. Weddle's an 83. We got to move Leonard to left end or Rayner. Either or. Other than that, everything looks good. Everything looks good. We just have to go into the draft, make the right choices, and hopefully come out with a new tight end. All right, here we are in the draft. The Baltimore Ravens are the first overall pick. I don't think we pick until the 17th, so I'm just going to move forward. The tight end gets picked. That was the one I was leaning towards because this one did perform well, but it seems like that's like a smokescreen most of the time for this stuff. But we're going to get Thomas Johnson, even though it's not late first. That doesn't seem to matter for most of these teams because I'm not going to trade back and risk not getting a tight end. So we're going to go ahead and get him. Ranked 31st. We got him at 17. He's normal development. 76 overall. I mean, he's going to be good for the time being. Hopefully he develops well with Trotter. Wow, all of the players that we scouted are now gone. I think we're going to go with the middle linebacker. He's supposed to go in the late second. We're already midway through. I mean, this basically counts as a late second. Middle linebacker is one of the positions that is the weakest on the defensive side of things. Just taking a chance because I didn't scout this guy, so hopefully he's good. Whoa. Whoa, 253. That was a miss. Oh, I am trading the rest of these picks. All right, well, I did not think that was going to work, but it did. Devontae Freeman is coming to the Cleveland Browns, a 93 overall. He is on the older side, so that is probably why they accepted his trade. But I'm not going to get any valuable prospects with these picks just because these draft classes are getting only worse right now, and we're trying to make a deep push this year, and Savage has not developed since his first year in the league, and I've been giving him every chance to. So 93 overall Devontae Freeman is going to come to the Browns, basically fills out our roster now. Even if he only has 1 year left on his contract, I'm not too worried about it because now our team is pretty set right now. At the start of the regular season, Devontae Freeman is on the team. Let me just check what his contract is right now. Hopefully he has a little more than 1 year. Oh, he is signed for the long term. Wow, I was not expecting that. But I was not expecting that because I gave up minimal picks for him. Devontae Freeman Trotter is up to a 93. Wide receivers look decent. Hopefully we're able to make something out of it. Johnson is a 78, and hopefully he ends up developing. He is normal development though, so we can't really get our hopes up with that. On the defensive side, Leonard Williams, Rayner, Weddle, a great defensive line. Ogba, Kendricks, Kirksey, Mingo, Doomerville, Byron Jones. I mean, you don't get much better than this team. You don't get much better than this team, and I can't imagine us not doing well this season. It would be difficult to see that, to be honest with you, with the amount of moves that we made in the offseason to be a playoff team. So we'll see how it goes. And at the mid-season mark, we are 4-3. Better than usual. We could definitely be better, though. We could definitely be better with this team. We're not even the top of the division. The Steelers are 7-0. We are 23rd in offensive yards, and our defense is 3rd. 1,500 yards, 14 TDs, and 4 interceptions. Devontae Freeman has 666 yards and 2 TDs. Receiving, Thomas Johnson, our tight end, 355 yards and 6 TDs. Willie Snead has 231 and 1. Coleman has 402 and 4. He seems to have a contract up right now. Eric Kendricks has the most tackles on the season. Leonard Williams has 5 TFLs. Rayner has 4, and Weddle has 2. The defensive line, three-headed monster, really. 5.5 sacks for Rayner, 4.5 for Ogba, 3.5 for Williams. And Kendricks has 2 interceptions. Ryan has 2 interceptions, and Kirksey has 2. So our offense is what's not playing well right now. So maybe we have to change the offensive scheme because, I mean, could definitely be a lot better right now. That's a big concern. Corey Coleman, 25 years old, has developed very well. 85 overall, quick development. I think I'm going to re-sign him. I think I'm going to re-sign him just because, well, increase it just a little bit just to make sure that he comes back. Can you improve the bonus at all? Okay. Joe Hayden is 30 years old. So, not sure if I'll be keeping him long term. There was some trade offers for him at the start of the season. I'm not willing to risk my season going bad because of trading him. So, not too crazy about it. Emmanuel Ogba might be somebody good to keep, but I honestly think that I could keep him in free agency if anything. So I'm not worried about signing him right now. Everybody else is not a concern other than Coleman. I want to keep Coleman on the team. He's an 85 overall. A great wide receiver for the team. I think I'm just going to simulate the rest of the season. 4-3 is not a bad start. The offense might just be off to a cold start. So hopefully they pick it up. Johnson's up to an 80 overall. We just got to hope that we make it to the playoffs this year. And at the end of the season, Trotter's a 95. We are 9-7, and we didn't make the playoffs. I mean, who did? 9-7 is not a bad record. We basically kept the same pace. AFC, we just missed it. We had a tiebreaker with the Jaguars, and we missed it because of that. Actually, there's several people that were 9-7, and we were not able to get included into the playoffs. Not good. Not good at all. Now we have to worry about signing wide receivers. 13th in offensive yards. and third in defensive yards. I mean, we did good. 3,700 yards, almost 38, 35 TDs, and 7 interceptions. It's definitely not the QB. 1,500 yards and 7 TDs for Freeman. He's doing great. Receiving, just Coleman is the only one. Coleman and our tight end, our new tight end, has 10 TDs. That's really what's doing good right now, and everybody else is just not. Eric Kendricks is the leading tackler. 14 TFLs for Leonard Williams. Rayner has 7, and Weddle had 6. 11.5 sacks for Williams, 10 for Rayner, and 7.5 for Ogba. 4 picks for Kendricks, 3 for Kirksey, and 2 for Logan Ryan and Darby. 9-7. That's a tough way to not make the playoffs just because of a tiebreaker. So now we have to figure out how we're going to bring more wide receivers to the team. Maybe we just trade our first round picks and get some better players automatically because we don't have time to have development. Wow, Trotter was in the top 10 for MVP. We were not in the top 10 for Coach of the Year, so that's not great. Trotter was in the top 6 for OPOI. Nobody on our team except for Kendricks were in the top 10 in DPOI. I don't think we had any rookies on the offensive side. We did. Thomas Johnson, that's right, our tight end. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we didn't have any. None of our players really got any awards. They haven't got any awards. Hopefully Trotter gets one soon because he's a 95 overall right now. He's getting to the peak of his career at 24. Trying to keep Corey Coleman on the team. Happy to sign with the organization, an 85 overall. Emmanuel Ogba's up to an 83, so I think I'm just going to try to get him now with the contract that he wants. This is exactly the offer that I was hoping to get. Next season will be great. And the wide receivers can go. They didn't develop much. Joe Hayden is regressing. Everybody else set to go off, so we have to get cornerbacks and wide receivers in this offseason because we're going to be pretty scarce of those positions right now. Take them. All right, we are trading Savage in a second-round pick for the Saints' first pick this year. Almost certain that's this year because I'm trying to make some big trades right now. Only way to do so is to get multiple first picks. All right, we're trading a first and a second for Patrick Peterson, who is still only 30. So he's going to do well for right now. I try to trade for multiple cornerbacks other than him in terms of younger cornerbacks, and they were being very stingy. I was getting multiple first-round picks for the reason of trying to get Jalen Ramsey. They were not budging on him, so now we have to try to get another wide receiver. And then we're going to be getting Alec Hearns from the Jaguars for a first-round pick and a third-round pick. He's a talented player, 5-star player value. We're trying to get what we can get. We're not going to be drafting anybody in this draft. I'm not worried about the draft. I need players that are going to be good now. And I think we're going to be able to do that with these players that we're getting. And I think we still have cap space for what we are negotiating right now, if I'm not mistaken. We're only trying to get Doxson. 83 overall. Maybe we can adjust that, but I don't know if we'll be ahead of the Chiefs with that. So I might take this out and then try to get another wide receiver 3. But other than that, I think we're pretty set at the positions. We have Patrick Peterson, Logan Ryan, Ronald Darby at cornerback. So our defense is pretty set. We don't have to worry about the defense. The offense is just a wide receiver 3 right now. A wide receiver 3, maybe even a wide receiver 4. But I definitely want to be able to have a deep wide receiver room. All right, so the 2 players that we're going after in free agency are 2 wide receivers. Willie Snead coming back to the Browns and Michael Crabtree at a very, very low contract, but he's not having any offers at the moment. So hopefully they both end up accepting. We need them both so we can have a good wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4. I think Coleman's going to be fine at wide receiver 2. The line looks pretty good. I mean, right tackle is really the only thing that maybe needs work. But now we don't really have the picks to be able to do that. So, all right, both of the wide receivers did accept the contract. Maybe we do try to go after a right tackle now that we're done with all the signings. I think we're going to be pretty solid for now. Yeah, our team looks good. Our team definitely looks good right now. I can try to make some trades and see if I'm able to get a right tackle. All right. Packing up a 4th and a 5th this year for the right tackle we tried to get a few years ago. Derek Cobbs does not fit our scheme, but a higher overall than what we have right now. We're trying to build up our offensive line as it is. 81 overall at right tackle. Joe Thomas is going down very fast, so we have to be able to win a championship now. And I think this could be the year because our defense looks good, our offense looks good. I couldn't imagine us not winning. Ooh, Mango's down to a 79. Why did he get lower? I guess I'm just going to have to hope that Mingo doesn't affect the team too much. But we're going to simulate to the season because we don't have any picks in the draft. So we are going to see how this next season goes. All right, and at the start of the season, our offense looks good. Very much of a desperation off season, if I'm being honest, but we have a lot of aging players. Joe Thomas is on the decline, and tackles are not easy to come by in terms of Joe Thomas level tackles. Trotter's a 95. He's getting to the peak of his career. Freeman is going down in overall. We didn't really have much of a choice but to be in desperation mode. Pat Pete is on the Browns now. Byron Jones is up to an 87. Mingo is going down, but I think he'll handle his position for this season. I don't imagine that we're going to do that bad this season with the amount of acquisitions that we made with Pat Pete and Derek Cobbs and Alec Hearns. I think we're going to do good this year, but we have to see at the midseason mark. All right, 4-3 once again. I thought we were 5-3. I was looking at the Bengals record, and Trotter is up for a contract this offseason. Do we have the cap space? We do. Okay, we have the cap space for him. I'm going to get back to that when I look at these stats to see what's going on with the team. We're 4-3, which isn't bad, but we're last in our division, which is pretty bad. That's pretty bad. 9th in offensive yards. Trotter is performing. And 23rd in defensive. 1,900 yards, 14 TDs, and 4 interceptions. Freeman has 764 and 6 TDs. Receiving, Alec Hearns has the most with 425 and 3 TDs. Willie Snead with 425 and 4 TDs. And Thomas Johnson with 378 and 4 TDs as well. Eric Kendricks, the leading tackler. Weddle with 5 TFLs. Williams with 3. And Rayner with 2. Rayner with 8.5 sacks. Mingo with 3.5. And Ogba with 2.5. And Patrick Peterson has 3 interceptions. Byron Jones has 2. And Emmanuel Ogba has 1. Okay, so Trotter is up for a contract. That's a concern. Patrick Peterson is 30, but he's also up for a contract and only wants a 1-year deal. So is Alec Hearns. Jamison Rayner. So I think we're going to focus on signing the younger players. I think I'm going to focus on that right now just to make sure that I get him. I'll give him a little more just so he's a little more enticed to come back to the team. I like the length of the contract, but that's about it. Oh, no. That's not good for us at all. Okay, so I'm going to get Jamison Rayner back now. Give him the contract that he wants. Dang. They're all declining right now, but I'm giving them the offer that they want. All right, so we get Darren Weddle back. The rest of these players I'm a bit up in the air about. I tried to get our quarterback back. I need to save the cap for him specifically, and then I can worry about everybody else. But it looks like we're going to have to simulate to the end of the season and hope that we're able to make a push for the playoffs this year. 4-3. We had a decent record at the end of last season. We just need a better one this year. And we go 12-4. We're at the top of the division, and we're not playing in the wild card right now. Were we the top of the AFC? Huh? We went 12-4. I mean, I guess we'll see in the next week, but we have to look at the stats. We are 3rd in offensive yards. Okay. Trotter was 1st in passing touchdowns. 25th in defensive yards. 4,200 yards, 36 TDs, and 9 interceptions for Trotter. Almost 1,800 yards and 14 TDs for Freeman. Johnson had 840 receiving yards and 11 TDs. Willie Snead had 1,100 yards and 11 TDs. And Alec Hearns had 1,009 TDs. Wow. Okay. Eric Kendricks had 145 tackles. Weddle had 9 TFLs. Rayner had 4. And Williams had 4. Rayner had 18.5 sacks. Mingo had 9. and Williams had 5.5, and so did Ogba. Patrick Peterson had 6 interceptions. Jones had third. Jones had 3, and Kendricks had 2. Doomerville had 2 too. So we'll look at the yearly awards. It doesn't seem like Trotter. Trotter was in the top 5 for MVP. Okay. Okay, we were in the top 5 for Coach of the Year. That's good. Offensive Player of the Year. Trotter was also in the top 5. Defensive Player of the Year. Kendricks was in the top 5. Doesn't seem like Pat Pete was here. Offensive Rookie, we didn't have any, so that is not going to be a concern for this season. We're not playing in this week, so I guess we simulate to the divisional championship. I'm a bit confused. I thought it was just the 1 seed. I guess not. Okay. We get the bye 2 in the wild card round. I must be tweaking right now or something. But we are facing the Buffalo Bills. Oh, this is the first year that they had the field as part of it. As right now, the kickoff, the Buffalo Bills start off with the ball, and they are moving downfield. This is not very smooth. And they end up only getting a field goal. The Browns had the ball now, and they end up getting a big play to put them into field goal range, and they get the first touchdown of the day, 7-3 against the Buffalo Bills right now. We get the ball back, but then we turn the ball over. At the start of the second, the Buffalo Bills have the ball. Oh, no, we punted it. See? This is not smooth at all. I think I'm just going to sim the rest of the games. But the Browns had the ball once again, and we're moving downfield very slowly, but I'm not sure where we're at. 3rd and 5. And it doesn't seem like we were able to do much, and we end up punting it away back to the Buffalo Bills, and they're not able to do anything. So we are trying to get some more points up on the board as we get into field goal range and only take the field goal, 10-6, and the Buffalo Bills turn the ball over. We did not see that. We're at the 6-yard line, and it seems like we're only going to be able to get a field goal. 13-6, and the Buffalo Bills have the ball. Yeah, I'm just going to sim the rest of these games except for the Super Bowl. And 13-6 lead might get extended with the way that we're going at the end of the second. I think this is 4th down, 3rd down. And we were not able to do anything on 3rd down and end up only taking the field goal. 16-6, a 10-point lead, and the Buffalo Bills don't do anything with it as we get the ball in the second half, but a 3-and-out gives them the ball back, and they're trying to answer back in some way, but end up punting it right back to us, and we're going to get some more points up on the board, extending the lead, possibly that being the dagger right now. 23-6, and the Browns have the ball once again. They punt it back to them. Seems like we're just trying to run clock right now in terms of overall game-wise. 23-6. They get the ball back on 4th and 20. What? Something happened. Something definitely happened, but it's still 23-6. We still have the large lead that we have, and it seems like it's all but over for the Buffalo Bills right now as we are chewing the clock, and that's going to be the end of the divisional championship. Rex as the Buffalo Bills head coach. 23-6 against the Buffalo Bills. Now we move on to the conference championship. And now we have to face the 11-4-1 Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they have... I'm not going to say it until I see it. I'm not going to say it until I see it. Yeah, Carson Wentz is the starting QB for the Ravens. That's a universe right there. Yep, Connor Pittman, a generated rookie. Seems pretty good. Ronnie Stanley, probably one of the last years he had until he was actually able to play. Ronnie Stanley, left tackle, hasn't played basically a game since ever, really. Marshall Yonda was still in the league. A great right guard. A great right guard, but we have to hope that we win this one with everybody's morale up right now. And as we simulate to the Super Bowl, we're just going to simulate straight through. Hope that we make the Super Bowl and make this push that we made so many trades for. So many trades for. We're going past the Pro Bowl, and we make the Super Bowl against the Saints. The 10-6 Saints. We are not going to worry about the college players right now. Everybody is high. Everybody is high on their morale right now. Just have to hope that we beat the Saints right now. Think Drew Brees left the team, actually. We can take a look at their roster before we get into the game. Yep, Drew Brees is off the team. Zach Roberg, a young quarterback, 91 overall. Duke Johnson is their halfback, and Jacoby Savage, the man that we traded to them for the first-round pick that ended up getting us Pat Pete. Brandon Cooks is a 97 overall. That would be the day. Kobe Fleener and Kyle Rudolph at tight ends. Middle linebacker, Brian Cushing at a 73 overall. Shaquille Barrett, left outside linebacker. Brennan Simmons, a rookie or an auto-generated player, 97 overall. Seems like their best players are auto-generated. TJ Green at free safety. Kenny Vaccaro at strong safety. Not a bad team. Not a bad team, but I don't think they fare well against us. All right, and we do start off with the ball. Hopefully able to start off hot right now. Only get a field goal to start off the Super Bowl, and the Saints are going downfield and end up only getting a field goal as well as we go downfield. And end up with 3rd and 2. We keep converting, and we get the touchdown, the first one of the Super Bowl. And the Saints are not able to do anything. They end up punting it back to us as we're trying to get some more points up on the board and end up only getting the field goal. 13-3, making it a 10-point lead. And our defense just has to show up against the Saints right now, but they're going downfield and only get a field goal once again. 30 seconds left. We get into field goal range. We're in scoring range, and we get the touchdown with Devontae Freeman, making it a 20-6 lead, a 2-touchdown lead. And we start off the second half with the Saints starting off with the ball, but they end up punting it on the 3 and out. And we are just running it downfield, 20-6, and we settle for the field goal. I cannot commentate right now. 23-6, and the Saints are trying to get a touchdown at least to stay in the game. 23-13, only a 10-point deficit for them. Did we convert? 1st and 10 at the start of the 4th quarter. Still a 10-point lead. Getting into field goal range, and we get the touchdown, 30-13. That should be all but over as the Cleveland Browns finally win a Super Bowl. Y'all probably won't see this for a while, so you can take this in. You can take this in right now. The Saints lose to the Cleveland Browns 30-13 with a generational quarterback, something else that the Cleveland Browns probably won't see for a while. I am not a Cleveland Browns hater. Just a disclaimer. I just think it's funny how every single time y'all drafted a quarterback, they ended up not being good or what they're supposed to be. Patrick Peterson, Logan Ryan, Allen Hurns. Wow. Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas actually wins the Super Bowl and actually goes to the playoffs. Coleman. A very well-rounded roster overall. Trotter was definitely the leader of the group with the 97 overall. A great first pick that we had in this franchise. Finally the Browns win a Super Bowl. And the winning roster, Trotter definitely saved us. He definitely did something that not a lot of quarterbacks. You don't find a lot of generational quarterbacks in these auto-generated draft classes anymore. Rayner was a great pick in that draft too. Leonard Williams was a great signing. Doomerville was another great pick. Byron Jones, Emmanuel Ogba. We got Mingo, his championship before he regressed a little too much. Patrick Peterson at a 93. Overall, a good lineup. I think Devontae Freeman won Super Bowl MVP. 184 yards. I think he got a touchdown too. A good Super Bowl by Devontae Freeman. He got his Super Bowl. But that is going to do it for rebuilding the worst team in Madden 17. Throwback Thursday. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. Let me know what other games you want me to play. I'm trying to figure out how to play Madden 13. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Peace.